In this edition of Office Space, we explore the challenges of women in the workplace. Women, according to a study by World WIT, are feeling more stressed than ever. Working women also working more hours, leaving little time for activities outside of work, like spending time with the family or maybe even sleeping. How do women cope with these challenges? Joining me now to talk about this is Rosina Racioppi, who is COO of Women Unlimited. Good to have you on the program.
Welcome. I'm glad to be here.
I don't think this is a surprise for any woman that they are working longer and have no time for themselves, let alone other people that are important. How do you go about countering this? It's obviously more of an issue now with cutbacks in companies across the country and more demands on workers.
Yeah. You know, what I see in our program is that women are working in a global economy, working in a virtual workplace, and the stress is just putting a lot of pressure on them to perform, to do more.
I must say, I read this. I think your leadership program, mentoring program, are really terrific, and I can see the benefit. We at Goldman Sachs have a terrific internal mentoring program, women working with younger women in the firm, and it really works terrifically for the firm. And firms that don't do that, or companies that don't do that, miss half the talent in America. And therefore, I think what you're doing is hugely important for women and for the overall economy. How big is the program? How many people can you actually do? Can you scale it up to larger and larger numbers?
Well, we offer our program nationwide, and we've had thousands of women that have gone through our program. And you're right, the point that you made about retaining the high caliber women and men that you have in organizations is so important, especially in today's work world that we're in.
How does mentoring help women employees? It doesn't necessarily make them work fewer hours, but perhaps more efficiently.
Mentoring helps you work smarter and helps you focus on what's important to the business. I think as women, what I see is women tend to try and do everything. We know we can do so much, so we try and put our efforts across the board on everything that we see that we can touch and do better. What mentoring can do is help you focus on what are the key issues in the business that you should be focusing on. Maybe there's 3 or 4 things you should be doing instead of 20 things you should be doing. Put your efforts in those, you'll have a higher impact.
How do you try to convince your managers that something like this would be needed, especially, as I mentioned before, with cost-cutting issues? A lot of these nice workplace development issues don't get tackled.
I think all companies and all organizations are looking for ways to retain their high potential talent. All of you and all of the companies that we partner with see that there are people that they've brought on board that they want to make sure that they not only keep, but they can move into the pivotal position so that they can have an impact in growing and moving their business forward.
Rosina Racioppi, we hope that some of corporate America at least listens. Thanks so much. Good to talk to you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Our guest host, Bob Hormats, Vice Chairman of Goldman Sachs International, who's also under all sorts of pressure. We should make that fair in your position as well. We've covered a lot of ground the last couple of days. We should probably sum up the President's trip to Africa. A very big week on a number of issues here.
You're right. It has been an important week. Unfortunately, there's